IFAB have approved further trials of a new offside rule. This will be the third year of the offside trial. Now, the rule would basically be this. The easiest way I can describe it to you is that there would have to be daylight between the attacker and the last defender. Currently, if any part of an attacker is ahead of the last defender, the player is going to be offside. But with this new rule, there would have to be daylight. So a gap between the last part of the attacking player and the last part of the defending player. So let's say your foot was trailing and it was in line with the defender's knee. Well, then you'd be offside. But if they can draw a line between that and there's daylight, you'd be offside. So a couple of ways to look at this. One, do we think it's a good idea? Well, I'm kind of on the fence on it. In some ways, yes. But in another way, we're still going to have a situation, and maybe this is unavoidable, where there's always going to be small margins. So we'll be talking about toenails now, and if a player's a toenail offside. The important thing to point out here is that when the offside rule was brought in, it was brought in to stop the attacking team having an unfair advantage. Meaning that they didn't want players goal poaching, hanging around the 18-yard box, causing defenders to have to drop in, and the game just became too compacted. The law was brought in to try and avoid the attacking team having an unfair advantage. Now, the way we see it implemented these days, and we're talking minuscule amounts of time, the argument can be made, is that really giving the attacking team an advantage to be a minuscule amount offside? And in the spirit of the game, probably not. But in the laws of the game, it very much was a black and white scenario. You were either onside or you weren't. So with this new rule, nothing really changes in that regard. I guess we'll feel like it's a little bit less harsh maybe because there has to be daylight, but there's still going to be a situation where a minuscule amount will be the difference between onside and offside. So for me, it feels like we're just kicking the threshold down the road a little bit rather than really implementing real change. The first person I remember actually really suggesting this was Graham Souness. I think he was on the Sky Sports Super Sunday or something a couple of years back talking about this. So again, just to try and spell this out as clearly as I can for people. Right now, if any part of the attacking player is past, any part of the attacking player that can score is past the last defender, you're offside when the ball is played forward. In this new one, there'd have to be daylight between you to be offside. So if you're running and your trailing leg is in line with any part of the defender, you're going to be onside. Whereas the old rules, if any part of you was past it, you'll be offside. I'll leave it over to you guys to see if you think that's a good or a bad idea. But it is something that they've been trialling for 3 years and something that they're going to be continuing to trial. This, of all the things that they've spoken about, I can understand it. I can understand them looking to slightly change the offside rule. We've spoken many times about the fact that if you're going to use technology in football, you're probably going to have to change the rules somewhat to come in line with video technology, and this is a system. It's a system. Same as any other system. It's just different levels of how offside are you. I don't know. I'm on the fence with it, but I'd like to see it. I'd like to see examples of games where this has been used. Maybe that will give us a clear indication of it.